Okay, so before we get started, let's speak about ACES. ACES stands for Academic Color Encoding System, and nowadays is a standard in everything that's regarding 3D and also filmmaking. So you can read more about it on Wikipedia or on other websites. So here is a link from GitHub where you can download the ACES profiles. As you can see, the latest version is 1.03. So after downloading that, you will find some folders containing the same folder structure that you see here. And we will use ACES 103 with the config OCIO. One asset that I used was this HDR from HDRI Haven. This is a website with free HDR rights. It's really good. So you can download this one. And first we need to convert this to ACES in order to work with it in Houdini and Redshift. So let's see how we can do that. So here we are in Fusion. This is the HDRI that we downloaded from HDR Haven. And right now we need to convert it to ACES color space in order to properly use it in Redshift. So to do that, we just need to grab an OCIO color space node, plug the texture into it and go to browse, find the ACES 103. Open the config OCIO, and here we see the source space and the output space. So the source space for this kind of HDRI should be utility linear texture. So we just need to, utility linear sRGB, because this is an sRGB image in linear space. And from this source space, we want to convert it to ACES CG. And if we have a look, you see that the image is very similar, but it's a bit more desaturated. So what we need to do now is just add a saver, just save the HDRI in ACES. So I say HDRI ACES.exr. I plug the OCIO node here and just hit render and just the first frame and start rendering. So now our image is properly converted to ACES. Before setting up ACES for Redshift, we would like to set up the environment file for Houdini itself. To do that, we need to go into our documents folder, Houdini 18 or your version of Houdini, and there you can find this Houdini environment, which you probably opened by now. And if I just double click on it, you can see here there's a line saying OCIO equals to and your path to the OCIO config master ACES 103 and config OCIO. You just need to type this, and instead of this path, there should be your own path to the config OCIO in the ACES config profile. Okay, so now let's see how we can set up ACES in Redshift. I just created a sphere and a dome light. In the dome light, we will use the HDRI that we just converted. Now we need to open the Redshift render view. And before starting the render, we need to go into the preferences, set up OCIO exactly like we did in Fusion. And from here, we need to go to the, I have it on my desktop right now, the OCIO config master, ACES 103 and config OCIO. So what this does, it converts ACES CG into sRGB ACES so that we can see the output correctly on our screen. Let's fire up the render and see how it looks. So as you can see, the render looks really nice. The highlights are not blown out and the image in the background looks really good. So if you were to see this in raw ACES, this is how it would look. You can see the background image is very similar to what we had in Fusion.